Flooded and loaded with guitars. What a time to be a buyer. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about how you can get some winnings here, maybe a few savings, and have a little fun. Hey, it's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
We're here to talk about the guitar market as it is today. It is crazy. It's good. It's good. It is good. It's like you can get a good deal.
Fine.
There's a lot. So what's happened is the guitar manufacturers, pretty much across the board, I've had some of them sort of deny this to me. They build too many guitars, and that's okay. It's an okay thing for this to happen right now.
Probably better than the other scenario.
No, it is. It's like, well, because they're still living in 2021. They were. Well, not really. They knew it was happening, but the wheels of change are a lot slower on these major manufacturers. They can't just take the foot off the pedal, and be like, all right, cool. Now instead of building 100 guitars, we're building just 50 guitars today.
Right.
And now it doesn't mean guitar sales have stopped. That they're still, all high end is still moving pretty rapidly.
Yes.
It's like we haven't seen any really dip in Fender Custom Shop.
No.
I think
they could be moving a lot less than they were in like 2020 and 2021, and still be really good, right?
Yes.
So I think sometimes these corporations get in this mindset that, well, we were here, so the only acceptable thing is up. But no, if you have a crazy year, then it's okay to go down a little bit.
Yes, it's and it's normally like, us as a business, like we sort of looked at this because we are a guitar store as well. Some people don't know that.
What?
I know, it's shocking.
That's weird.
And it's just, I'm gonna do it early. Click like and subscribe.
Hit the bell.
And all that stuff. And stay tuned. We have all sorts of crazy contests and giveaways coming up soon too. It's gonna be sort of insane. We're really
flooding the market ourselves
with fun stuff though.
With free things. Oh my
but stay
God.
tuned for that stuff later. Because it's a thank you because we've had another great half a year. It's half a year already. Anyway, so yeah, like you were saying, like we were sort of smart and sort of looked at 2021 as an anomaly.
Yeah.
And we didn't look at that as a baseline for how to build and judge our business. We said, okay, the growth rate was outrageously substantial. Before COVID hit, we were still growing at like a 12 to 15% rate per annum, and things were booming. And then then COVID hit and bam, explodes it. And then you're gonna have a correction.
Right.
But we've been able to hold there and make that the new sort of baseline because we pulled back.
Yeah.
And that's something you can do. That's another sort of whole thing there.
Always lower your expectations.
Yes, it's
aim low. That's what we're saying.
With relationships,
everything,
and your bands.
It's not as good as you think it is.
Never
is. Worse.
You can always find someone better later down the road.
That's right.
No, so there's also, we're seeing sort of the used market is flooding a bit too right now. So you're seeing the quit rate used to be, gosh, like 20 to 30 to 50% sometimes. I think they've sort of cut that in half. So, but still, with the amount of gear that was bought in 2021, there's a lot of used gear coming on the market now that you can take advantage of. So if you're checking your Facebook marketplaces, check your Reverbs, check your Craigslist, go to your local shops. There's a lot of gear coming in and out right now. It's a time, which is cool. It's going to be a short-lived time. I think there is going to be an ending to it. We'll get to that later in the video. There's a few tricks we've learned along the way, and we're going to give them to you as well. If you're looking at pieces and you're curious if a shop is motivated to get rid of it, and it's on Reverb or something, just watch it. You'll probably hit
the little heart.
You'll probably get an auto offer fairly quickly. I'd say within 24 hours.
And if you do, that's how you know they want to move it. They need to get rid of this thing.
And if you're good with that offer, just take it. If you want to save a few extra bucks, just call the shop directly. You'll avoid some taxes, and and they're going to avoid some fees from selling it on any third-party resale type of sites. So it just helps them. They can't go any lower than what they offer. You probably be offering a breakneck. I have had customers of ours that have reached out to me like, "Hey, I got this auto offer for X, Y, and Z guitar from this shop." Just because I was looking at it, we also sent our sleuthing and did the same thing with Sir Derek. And he got plenty of those within a few hours.
Right.
Which is, so that's a trick too. Now, is there an ending to this thing?
Yes.
It's just like all good movies. Things will come to an end.
Must end.
I think it's going to last through the summer.
Okay.
I think it's going to last into the early fall, but middle fall, early winter, it's over. Like as far as like this, the manufacturers are starting to figure it out.
Because you think they're catching up with.
Well, we'll talk about that. We have a sister companion to this that's like you're gonna have to stay tuned for. It's
Part 2.
part deux.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen some videos lately, one in particular where a dude's, trying to sell or trade maybe even a brand new standard Gibson Les Paul. And not only do people not really want them because they've got a ton of them, they're talking like, $1,500, $1,800. So
Because new, we're talking $3,500, right?
well, it just depends on the model, right? But 28 to that, somewhere in that, depending on the top and all that
Saying
kind of
35.
stuff. But so yeah, that's.
So the
pretty
guitar
good.
shows have sort of, because we were at a guitar show back in January.
Right.
Were you there with us?
I was not.
You didn't go this year.
I didn't go.
No, you had some. You had a show or something. That's what it was.
gone.
But we were
Sad.
there. And the guitar. I noticed that there was some of the vintage stuff. The prices had dropped. Some had sort of gone up outrageously, like 70s stuff, which was crazy. But there weren't many deals at that point. Some people were trying to get a few deals on some of those sort of odd stuff, but I don't think it had really hit quite yet.
Right.
I think right now we're sort of in the summer. Things are slower in the summer in sales in general. Like, people are spending their time and their money vacationing, going to the beach, having a good time, going to the movies. Costs you $100 to take a family of 4 to the movies now.
Well, I mean, there's so many things. I think people are doing all those things. Historically, people spend less on election years. We have a pesky election coming up.
Well, and that was one of the things, like, as we're saying, like, as we get to the end of things, and like the sort of the light at the silver light at the tunnel, however that phrase is. Light. What is it? Silver light at the end.
The silver light at the end of the worm.
I don't even know.
Makes no sense.
It's a dune thing.
Makes no sense.
I do think like once we get the election sort of behind us.
Yeah.
And that's usually the time to Q4, i.e. Christmas sales time. That it'll be a whole different ballgame by then. But I think once the elections do too, I think spending will change again. That's just how things usually work.
Yeah.
Usually. This is
Who knows? If we learned anything, it's that we know nothing.
This is not a usual time.
Things are different now.
No, we see it in the shop too, which is neat because it's not just something we go and watch YouTube videos, or we see this every day in action. But we have people bringing guitars to either sell, consign, trade. And it might be like bringing them 5 guitars to trade towards 1. And this has happened multiple times over the past 4 days. I mean, at least 10 times.
Well, I can see, I just see it, sometimes you're in the middle of doing things and you take a step back. We are way more intentional about what we're taking on trades these days. We used to be anything because we just could not get enough guitars. So anything you walk in the door with or email us about, yes, we want it. And now we have a lot of guitars, which is a good thing, but it makes us just stop and say, okay, do we need this thing? Can we sell this thing? Is this thing going to sit here for 3 years? So just looking at that, you can see the trends, how it goes.
And like I alluded to earlier with like the beginner guitar player coming in the market is not the beginner guitar player of yesteryear. It's a more mature, more affluent, and ready to spend on some decent pieces beginner guitar players. So these are not like $200 guitars. These are probably starting at $2,000 guitars, all the way up to $5,000 guitars for your first guitar. So these are coming back in, and they're going back out at what can hopefully be a savings for you, and a savings for me as well, because I still have the bug, and I'm still buying way too many guitars. It's a problem. I need to stop doing this.
There you go.
We took in 3 yesterday that were like all awesome guitars. There was like a Rev, a Fender, and this is just from one gentleman. Cool gentleman too, and then a Martin, a really cool Martin, a Burst.
Well, there you go.
It might have an Eric Clapton attached to it as well. It's just cool. And I hate seeing people. And this person's not quitting guitar, just trading into like something different. And that's a lot of times with the beginner guitar players entering in there too. They're finding what they like. They're getting their footing.
Well, and if you go into it with the idea that, okay, I'm gonna buy something nicer. I'm older. I can afford this. I've always wanted to play guitar, so I start with this $2,000 guitar. But you still don't know what you like, right? So maybe you buy these nice guitars, and then 6 months down the road, you're like, oh, this doesn't fit what I want to do or what I do at all. bam, got to dump them.
Or the thing is too, like you'll realize, because this is what we all do as guitar players. We all do it. You buy lots of guitars, and you realize, wait, I have this little basic amp. I need to have like a better amplifier. You know, just like get a decent amp. So like some of these guitars will equal amplifier, and that's what a trade can happen too, and it's really useful.
I don't know if I used to teach this guy, and I at the time I was teaching a ton, like 60 students a week, you know, and it was a lot of homeschool families, and during the day, and then like normal teaching the store at night. And this one dude decided he wanted to get into it, and you know, he wanted to play for his church and his kids. I taught all of his kids, and he had a cool job, right? Like he was like an importer of like Italian car parts, like crazy high end, like Ferrari, that kind of stuff. So he decides he's going to get into it. And I show up at his house for his first lesson.
Oh Lord.
He's got this room under his house that he set up in the music room, and it looked like someone was opening a new like high-end guitar store. He just bought everything. I'm talking like Les Pauls, Strats, amps,
and not just one,
pedals.
multis.
I'm talking about a multi because he thought, you know, he was already set up to sell online. So his whole thing was, well, you know, I just went and bought stuff, and then I figured whatever doesn't make the cut, I'll sell. And what was awesome is he let me just teach for bartering. Like I got a 59 Bassman reissue. I got two or three other amps.
By the way,
it's
a great amp.
Amazing amp. But I feel like that, I mean, on a slightly smaller scale, that is happening now. That's how people are getting into it. But I mean, he would have a pile every week when I'd come in. Hey man, is there anything you want to trade for? If not, I'm selling all this stuff. Okay.
I mean, but that is like, and you go into that knowing like you're gonna lose money.
Oh yeah.
Like, because like as far as like the trade and stuff, because but it's part of the fun.
It's the joy of it, right?
I do it too. It's like, you know, I'll get stuff sight unseen, ear unheard. That sounds weird. And I do it pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But it's fun. And I enjoy it. And it's one of my strange little hobbies in life. And I love new gear. I love new toys. And fortunately right now, for a short window, I think if there's something you're looking at, contact the shop. You like, just like ask them if they can do any better. I think now's the time. Like and we tell you like, God, we did a video 2 years ago.
And said the opposite.
It's like now's not the time. If you see something you want, you buy it right now.
Well, because it was scarcity. Like there was nothing out there.
I remember one point, like our custom shop stock had dwindled down to like 5.
Well, we couldn't keep them. If we got them, they were gone, or they were already, you know, ordered for someone, and we just couldn't build it up. And now we've got a ton, which is kind of awesome.
It's great. It's great, and they're going regularly.
Yeah.
Like,
right. It's like
2 a day.
Now it's more normal how it should be. Right. We got a bunch. Couple go out every day.
Well, instead of people calling and be like, "Hey, like whatever you get in, just send it to me" or something, like which was weird. I didn't like that either. It was kind of unhealthy, but it was
enablers, horrible enablers at this point.
So like seriously, like reach out to your favorite shops. If we're one of them, reach out to us. We're manning the phones now. Well, maybe depends what time.
And I mean, if you're thinking about, obviously, spec-in the guitar is always awesome. But if you're thinking about something and it's not that narrow, reach out and say, hey, have you got anything that is, you know, this
fits
ABCD,
within this template?
And chances are as good as ever that we might have something.
John, that was a smart point.
It was.
You sometimes contribute.
I mean, like once every 6 months or so.
I appreciate it. I'm just going to pinch you for that. It's muscular too. I wasn't expecting muscle. I was expecting soft.
It's under a soft layer, a small layer of fat.
Seriously, there's a follow-up to this too. So Part 2, like the Joker. And again, click like, subscribe.
Hit the old bell.
And happy hunting out there. Have fun. This is a great time to get fire. Enjoy it. Peace be with you.